Joining us, head coach of the Cavaliers, Hank Banner. Coach, opened up last weekend at Payne College, played 3 games down there in Augusta. Give your assessment of that series.
Well, we didn't play as sharp as we'd like to, Darryl. Obviously, we got to see some things, good and bad. Probably the biggest thing I was disappointed in was the consistency offensively. Threw the ball pretty well. Got to look at a lot of arms. They did throw strikes. So we looked like a baseball team that hadn't been out and just getting their feet on the ground, I thought.
Coach, this weekend back on the road, a 4-game series, 4 7-inning games. At least that's what's scheduled at Virginia State. You saw a lot of pitchers. Delve into that a little bit and how your rotation sets up this weekend.
Well, we're going to extend the top guys probably out to 80 pitches this weekend, and then still look at our bullpen guys. So we set up good there, and still want to see some guys and see what they can do under fire. So we'll still throw quite a few arms, I think.
Couple positives at the plate, at least from looking from the box score. You had a lot of walks in that series, and then senior Matthew Branham down there toward the bottom of the order came through with several clutch hits for you guys.
Yeah, he probably had the best consistency of any of our hitters on the weekend. And again, we had some good ups. We just couldn't. I didn't think put enough of them together, but yeah, we had pretty good plate discipline. I thought drawing walks and being patient. We just our approach. We've got to get back to hitting the ball to the middle of the field and the off field. I thought we were flying off balls, trying to do a little bit too much down there. But, you know, Matthew's senior, and I think he stayed in the middle of the field, hit a big double in that first game, and it was good to see him have a good weekend.
Coach in the bullpen, sophomore Tyler Hayes, you had to like what you saw there. 2 1-2-3 innings, and then the second time on back-to-back days, 3 punch-outs.
Yeah, and that's, you know, we discussed whether to bring him back on 1 day's rest, and we need to see if he can do that, and he really responded well. He pounds the zone. He's aggressive early in counts, and, you know, if he can do that consistently and throw back-to-back days, he can really help our pitching staff earn the bottom of the rotation.
Looking at your staff as a whole, it seemed to me like had several guys who did a pretty good job first time through the order, and then maybe in inning 3, second time through, be it fatigue or another look, they struggled a little bit. Touch on that and what that means for your staff, not only this weekend but moving forward.
They did, and I guess it's a lot different to throw outside and throw to competitive innings versus throwing bullpens in here or throwing live dart hitters. And we had those guys up to about 50 pitches, but 50 pitches in here are a lot different than 50 game-like pitches. And I think some of it was fatigue, and a little bit of it was lack of command of a second pitch, and they got on those guys when they saw them a second time. Hopefully, you know, like I said, we can extend those guys a little bit further, and their off-speed stuff will be a little bit sharper. But we need to. It's kind of a double-edged sword. When to extend those guys, how soon to do that, and again this weekend we'll bump them 15 or 20 pitches and see how they handle that.
An area we've not touched on that you said was real important to your club at the beginning of the year was defense. It did look like we played pretty well defensively down there, and probably not the best conditions field-wise.
We did, and we didn't. You know, again, we didn't get to hit on the field because of the weather, and we didn't get to take any ground balls. So the ground balls we've taken to this point have been under fire in live situations, and I thought our defense really did play well. Turned a couple double plays. We had a couple miscommunication plays, which you may expect early, but I was pleased with how we caught the baseball and took care of the baseball.
4-game series here up in Richmond against Virginia State. Areas you want to see improvement on this weekend?
Definitely. Approach at the plate and stand to the big part of the field. These guys came back and we got to work Tuesday. Coach Costa and Coach Stevens have worked real hard this week on slowing the game down for them, getting back to what we think will work. And it's up to those guys to take that approach into the game and have competitive at bats. That's one area we definitely need to see improve. And then, like I said, those pitchers being a little bit sharper, a little more consistent with their off-speed stuff will be a big key this weekend. At Virginia State, they've got some guys in there that can swing the bat in the middle of the order and a pretty good fundamental baseball team up there.
Fans, Cavaliers scheduled to take on the Trojans in a 4-game set this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. You can check UVA-wise Cavs and UVA-wise scores on Twitter for updates to that schedule if rain alters it and for in-game updates. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, Darryl.